Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome all of you to join today's section. My name is Niven Huang from KPMG, based in Taiwan. Today is my honor and pleasure to moderate this section. We will focus on the transition towards sustainable transportation, and very pleased to have this section and panel. We do have several experts from Acer. Then we will address the sustainable supply chain for the computer company. And then we will also have very good, I think, some of the best practice by Acer. And then we have three speakers and panelists. The first one will be Grace Liu, Chief Sustainability Officer of Acer. Grace Liu. Grace has been in sustainability area for quite a long time. She's still pretty young, but quite a long time. That means she has been devoted herself in sustainability when she is pretty young. And second speaker, we have Mr. Riccardo Bernasconi, also from Acer. He is the Senior Director Supply Chain of Acer, now is based in Switzerland. So today he is going to highlight some of the best practice of Acer on sustainable supply chain. And the third speaker and panelist is Holger, Mr. Holger Wilhelm. I suppose, hope that my pronunciation is correct. If not, sorry for that. He is the Vice President of the Global Strategic Business Development of KHS. I think it's a quite well-known and very big global logistics company. So welcome all of you to join today's section. So first of all, I would like to invite the Chief Sustainability Officer, Grace Liu from Acer, to give us her presentation.
Yeah, sorry, wait a moment. Yeah, thank you, Niven. And I'm very glad to be here and on the same stage with you. And my name is Grace, and Chief Sustainability Officer of Acer. And today I will introduce Acer's climate strategy and the goals, and also to introduce how we collaborate with our supplier to provide low carbon opportunities. And later on, my colleague Riccardo, he will introduce the exact best practice, how he co-work with the supplier Kuehne+Nagel to find the low carbon solutions. So Acer is one of the leading ICT company founded in 1976 with a presence of over 160 countries. And the breaking barriers between people and the technology is our mission when the first day of Acer's establishment. And creating values for a better future is what we want to achieve through Acer's environment, society, and governance. And climate, we all know that climate has been an issue that no one can ignore it, and no one is an outsider. So we are always thinking how we facilitate the social and economic development and also protect the environment. Thus, Acer commit net zero by 2050 and RE100 by 2035. So we build, formulate a net zero strategy throughout operation, product and service, and the value chain. By minimize energy consumption and using renewable energy and to adopting carbon removal and offset, we want to achieve operation net zero. And through providing low carbon product and service, and choosing sustainable material, and providing smart, circular, and renewable applications, we want to reduce carbon emissions through our product and service. Then, of course, continue to cooperate with our value chain. Not only the strategy, we also set goals and quantitative target into our short-term, mid-term, and the long-term plans. So for our renewable energy, we want to achieve 60% by 2025, 30% by 80% by 2030, and eventually to reach RE 100 by 2035. And for carbon reduction, we will reduce scope 1 and 2 carbon emissions by 50%. Base year is 2019, and 35% in our value chain. Base year is 2020. And for our products, we also set goals for our products, and in computer energy consumption, we will reduce 80% for our computer, and for computer and the display product, we will use 20 to 30% PCR plastic to facilitate circular economy. So to achieve such a complex issue, I think we need to cooperate with multi-stakeholder. So we join a lot of international organizations and adopt international goals and standards, such as CDP supply chain, TCFD, RE100. Of course, we also set science-based target aligned with 1.5 degree Celsius pathway. So in terms of engagement with multi-suppliers, actually sub-suppliers are also very a pivotal role in this game. So we engage with our supplier continuously. We developed a very comprehensive suppliers management mechanism, and especially environmental energy plays a very priority roles in our management scheme. So from GHG inventory to, and we require suppliers to reduce carbon emission, set science-based target aligned with TCFD. We lead the suppliers to take climate actions, and also align with global norms and standards. So except requirement and the rules, we also think to cultivate the culture is very important. So since 2017, we start in internal initiative named Project Humanity. We start to encourage our employees to participate like a more eco-friendly lifestyle, and then to explain to their professional role when we have a campaign, every decision counts. Since it echoes a very loud echo, so we expand our impact to our supply chain. So we launch an initiative named Acer Earthian. Earthian means Earth and a mission. And it means we have missions with our suppliers. We encourage them to devote it into their missions, including product design, packaging design, production, recycling, energy, and logistics. So those internal Project Humanity initiative and external Earthian initiative, those are our foundation that make Acer to build our eco-friendly product, Vero. Vero is an eco-friendly computer, a laptop initially, and it's designed by a PCR and reuse and recyclable packaging, and also designed for easy to disassemble and easy to repair. But most importantly, we do that eco-friendly design, not sacrifice its appearance. It's with very good looking. Yeah. So except climate actions, we think to make a circular economy happen is also a way to make to align with our climate strategy. So, but actually, the circular economy needs different roles within the industry. So, as a brand, Acer use very high percentage of PCR to facilitate the demand and to make the supply. So we make actually we played a focal role in circular economy. So currently, Vero is not only just one laptop. We have a series over 40 products. So we'll keep going on and to give a more low carbon and more eco-friendly solutions to our consumers. So for an enterprise who wants to be sustainable, we believe that the continuous innovation is very important. So Acer keep going on, incubate new product and services. So we focus on smart city and the eco-friendly lifestyle. So including smart parking and green energy applications and circular economy. We also align it with our climate actions. So I just let you know what we think and what's Acer's climate strategy and the goals. And for net zero 2050, we formulate net zero strategies and include and through our operation, product and service, and the value chain. So we believe success lead we need the cooperation. So that's why we make an earthy mission. So later on, before I deliver the screen to my colleague Riccardo, I want you to view a video first. The video show how we cooperate with our suppliers. So let's view it now. Oh, sorry. Let me try again.
In my professional capacity, overseeing global logistics, my focus has been on reducing greenhouse gas emissions in freight transportation.
The logistics industry is notoriously difficult to decarbonize. It is an industry that is historically based on traditional fossil fuels.
We are investing into the sustainability of making logistics more economically and ecologically viable.
So our first goal was to start measuring the emission we were generating for each shipment, to have a number to be used as a starting point.
Our logistics partners have proposed innovative solutions to address emissions.
Acer began to talk about the topic of energy conservation and carbon reduction with its top at the end of 2022.
Earlier in 2023, we had an opportunity to work with them on an insetting solution, which is where we're using sustainable marine fuel for their ocean freight in the Asia-Pacific region.
Sustainably produced biofuel can reduce a carbon footprint up to 80% compared with a traditional fossil fuel.
We were one of the first to adopt the Science-Based Target Initiative, and with that we are launching our sea freight biofuel sustainability initiative, and we are onboarding Acer as one of the first companies in this program.
When we want to use electric vehicle for deliver laptops, no one believes that, but we persevere. This year, nearly 50% of laptops for commercial business are delivered by electric truck in Chongqing, China.
This program has shown Acer's commitment to environmental protection and demonstrated Acer's efforts in social responsibility.
We have significant progress in optimizing land transportation by consolidating shipping containers. And we also plan to incorporate sustainable marine fuel in coming years, representing 5% green energy for ocean shipment.
All carbon is released into the same atmosphere. It doesn't matter if it's in Europe, if it's in Asia, if it's in the US. We all need to work together and to be able to decarbonize and understand how just the smallest thing can have such a huge impact.
The message is simple but very powerful. Individuals can make a difference. As the Acer usually says, every decision counts.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoy the video. It's a progress and the process about how we engage with our suppliers. So, okay, I will pass the screen to my colleague, Riccardo. So, hi. Riccardo?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good, good. How are
Do you
you?
see? I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, okay, good.
So good
So the
afternoon.
Okay, the screen's yours.
Thank you. And I was just setting the screen. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm remotely connected from the cold Switzerland today. So we had some snow yesterday, and I think I'm quite jealous of you being in Dubai right now. So I'm Riccardo Bernasconi, Acer EMEA Supply Chain Senior Director, and I'm part of this beautiful journey with the Acer team many years, and also nice to be here presenting you what Acer is doing in the sustainable logistic world. Because every time I hear Vero product line, I'm always super excited about the new products and how they are designed and how they reach the market. And of course, I am also very proud of being able to be part of Airtion, so the project that Grace was mentioning before, where all the company effort are put together into a unique platform to reduce carbon emission. And logistics plays a key role into this, as transportation is responsible for significant global carbon emission. And let me tell you how we could bring our contribution, and actually how are we doing this, with less carbon emission and with cleaner carbon emission. When we say less, we think about a conscious utilization of the different mode of transport we have. And when we say cleaner, it's basically start identifying which alternative the logistic industries offer to have more sustainable fuels to be used. So let's consider the current situation we are in. Every day, tens of thousands of Acer products make their way to consumer hands. Acer strives to reduce the volume and the weight of each packaging to optimize the transportation and make it more efficient, reducing the CO2 emission by single piece. And to move the goods from the Far East, where they are produced, to the EMEA region, where I'm responsible, we are proud to say that the most used mode of transportation is the ocean freight. The ocean freight is the lowest well-to-wheel CO2 emission per kilogram and kilometer. It follows strict regulation issued by the IMO that is steering the industry into lower emission solution. And as alternative to reach and to gain speed, we've been the first one to introduce the rail freight from China to Europe. In early 2010s, I think Acer was one of the few pioneers start exploring this alternative logistic solution. And since then, I think we contributed to save a lot of CO2 that otherwise would have been emitted for air freight. It's not only the choice and the conscious choice of which mode of transport to be used, but how as well. So we have to always look into our supply chain, and we need to optimize it as best as we can. So after Acer notebooks are produced in Chongqing, mainland China, we started a 58-truck solution to combine 40 and 20 feet maritime container cargo in the same train. That helps to save roughly 700 trips from Chongqing to Shenzhen, to the southeast coast area, in 1 year. That means roughly 530 tons of CO2 emission completely avoided. It's not bad, huh? And if we consider this, we also need to add on this the fact that we've been able to study and improve our supply chain management from origin till destination end to end with the help of our trusted logistics supplier partner like Kuehne+Nagel, building a consolidation hub in Shenzhen where we are able to combine different factories products and for different destination and combine them in the same container by destination. So optimizing the transportation and especially the last mile delivery emission. We are still looking into further solution with our partner, and that's why it's crucial to have trustable and long-time strategic partner in the logistics and transportation. Moving indeed to the alternative fuel solution we can put in place to have less, to have cleaner solution. The first one that everybody thinks it's electric vehicle. It's quite complex solution to be implemented in a complicated and supply chain as ours. But I'm so proud of our Acer logistic team in China that after persevering and studying different solutions, have been able to implement electric vehicle distribution in the Chongqing city area. And as was mentioned in the video, in 2023, this year, almost 50% of our Acer notebook commercial have been delivered with electric vehicle in the Chongqing area. Acer aims to expand this pilot project to other nearby cities and contributing even on a wider scale with this. And especially when we look to an even bigger scale, as sea freight is the most used mode of transportation for the EMEA region, I think we cannot avoid to mention the fact that Acer is promoting biofuel in this industry to reduce the carbon emission and to raise the awareness in the company and to its customers and as well to its suppliers. More and more Acer containers will become green, as you see the slides projected, while they are on the vessel if we use more biofuel. And how this is possible? This is possible thanks to the book and claim mechanism and the partnership with trusted logistics suppliers. So let me explain you very quickly the book and claim process. That is the process that helps the logistic industry to inset its own generated emission. And it's very peculiar because it's a special speciality of the industry to being able to offset its own emission. That's why it's called insetting. So at the end, is not also here a very simple journey, this one, because the biofuel is not fully trackable for when it's produced to the vessel where it's going to be used. It gets different steps in its own supply chain and gets sometimes blended with the fossil-based fuel. So it's very difficult to exactly know how much is biofuel is in the plane or on a ship. So by using digital accounting system, for this so-called book and claim process, we can track the environmental benefit from sustainable fuel across the value chain. It's a virtual solution to a practical problem based on a one atmosphere approach. And this is super important because all greenhouse gas emissions enter the same atmosphere. It doesn't matter which vehicle, aircraft, or ship is using sustainable fuel instead of fossil fuel. So the book and claim system allows us to book, manage, verify, and claim the environmental benefit associated with the use of sustainable fuel. And let me also use this slide to explain in a very simple way how it works. So we have to consider that biofuel is available, it's true, but it's not everywhere at any time. So buying biofuels means to book some quantity, some liters of biofuel that is going to be used on a different containers than the one we would like to arrange. This digital system helps indeed to certify that one atmosphere balance exercise. So we basically can claim a biofuel container on a different routing where it is expected to be. And to further reduce the carbon emission, Acer has piloted already in 2022 the use of biofuel with partners, and especially with Kuehne+Nagel. We had a partnership of 50 containers in 2022, saving roughly 40 tons of CO2 emission. And this year, 2023, the count of biofuel container is already reached the 300. And of course, we look forward to increase this number in the future. And especially for next year, we have a big plan, because before I hand it over to Holger to explain more in details this Acer and Kuehne+Nagel partnership, I always want to remember that the best is yet to come. And this was me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Riccardo. Yeah, the best is not coming yet, so still a long way to go. I remember about more than 12 or 13 years ago, Acer, I think, started to look at logistics and transportation, how can leverage the carbon reduction together to make the best sustainable arrangement for the product transportation, no matter that is road transportation, rail transportation, marine, and also aviation. And I'm very happy to see now what you have already done. Really impressed a lot. And so congratulations. Anyway, still a long way to go, but a lot of the supplier will be engaged by all of you. And then now I'd like to invite Holger to share their best practice and also the experience for working with Acer on sustainable marine transportation. Yeah, Holger, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So let me ask the first question. Can everybody hear me okay and see me and also see my presentation?
Yes, okay.
Good, very good. So thank you very much. My name is Holger Wilhelm. I'm with Kuehne+Nagel since 2 years now. And when I was 29, I set myself 3 goals. And one of the goals was to finish my career at Kuehne+Nagel, because it was for me always the light tower in freight forwarding. And at least I achieved a part of that. And it just shows how important goal setting is. And goal setting is also very important when it comes to the transitioning towards a sustainable transportation. And as Riccardo already talked about it, I will pick up there where he left off and go a little bit backwards before I come to the general overview. So as Riccardo mentioned, sea freight is the most reliable and most effective way and mode of transportation to get the goods from Acer from A to B, from Asia to EMEA, from Asia to the Americas. We're very proud that they chose us. It's been a long-standing partnership together with Acer and Kuehne+Nagel, and I think only when we have these long-standing partnerships, we are able to create something new, because this is not an easy subject to discuss. And you know, when I was getting into it, I have my experts around me who can explain it even far better than I ever could. It's really, really difficult, and a lot of mistakes can be made, and we have to measure, we have to set goals, and we have to constantly review where we're at in order to give the most value add to our customers and of course to our environment. So the natural selection to support Acer in their journey for their Earthion project is of course biofuel. And with the drop-in biofuel that we have at the moment, we can immediately inset the carbon emissions. And because there's some challenges that we will later discuss in the panel discussion that are yet to come in order to fully transition to zero emissions, right? So for 2023, our main focus was Asia to EMEA, which is something that we are doing for Acer since a long time. And we just recently this year renewed our partnership for several years to come. As I said, transactional partnerships do not work when you have these high invests into the future. So what we looked at is we chose our power lanes where we have the most volumes coming into, and that would be in the ports of Europe, Rotterdam, Barcelona, and Felixstowe. And this is where we're using the biofuels. And for 2024, as we will talk a little bit later, we're also focusing on further initiatives from Acer and also initiatives in the sea and sea air and road transportation that we're bringing forth. So in order to start the process of the book and claim process that Riccardo mentioned, that we are a big part of, that adds value to the end customer as well to inset the emissions aligned with the science-based target initiative. We need to measure, we need to avoid, and we need to reduce. And as silly as it sounds, measuring and keeping track of where you have your fuel usage is much more difficult than we would like to believe on paper. So we have our global dashboards. We are using tools like Sea Explorer, that's an invention of KN, to accurately track where we are burning fuel, where we are using biofuel, and how much at the end of the day we're actually saving. One of the best ways, of course, is to avoid fuel altogether, and Riccardo talked about it, about you know, the consolidation centers in China, the modal switch to train. I will show you another example later on when it comes to air freight and where we can utilize the sea freight as well. And then, of course, we need to reduce in order to inset. And we are talking about the sustainable marine fuel. We are also very much advanced in the sustainable aviation fuel and hydro-treated vegetable oils for road freight. And then, of course, in the offsetting side, we can plant trees. We have big tree plantations in the US, for instance. We use solar and so forth. So in the book and claim process, you know, it is valuable and mandatory because it is being governed by rules of law that we need to document exactly what we are using. Because as I said, it is still very difficult, and maybe people understand different things under how to be environmentally active and how to avoid inset, offset. So we are documenting everything, that we are not using non-toxic, biodegradable and renewable energies. It is fully traceable. We are not using food for oil as it was done in the past. You know, we are not impacting any farmlands to subsidize the fossil fuels, and we are documenting it. And at the end of the day, our customers can declare their carbon avoidance with us. But what led us to this? So our leadership and our new CEO, Stefan Paul, for Kuehne+Nagel had a vision that we want to become the most trusted supply chain partner, supporting a sustainable future. And in order to get to that vision 2030, we have a roadmap called 2026, and it only has 4 points. So it keeps us focused on our goal setting and makes it very easy to understand also for our customers, our investors and shareholders. And it consists of the Kuehne+Nagel experience, the market potential, the digital ecosystem, and of course, what we're talking here today is the living ESG, and we're specifically focusing on the S, the sustainability part. So we are guided by the Science Based Target Initiative, short SBTI. And we at Kuehne+Nagel believe that the Science Based Initiative is a real driver for corporate, my apologies, I just switched, I'm back, I hope, is a real driver for the corporate and voluntary climate action because it is transparent and a robust framework based on scientific evidence. And the more people use it, the more we are aligned, the more we can create value at the end of the day. So it's a growing global movement, and today covers about 1/3 of the global market capitalization. And we, as Riccardo and the EMEA headquarter, we are based with our global headquarter in Switzerland, in the beautiful snowy Schindellegi. And we are listed on the Swiss Market Index, the stock exchange. And 15 of those 20 companies listed on that SMI are also following the Science Based Target Initiative. So it shows that more and more companies are committed to reaching these goals together with us. And that's the only way we can achieve it, through partnerships. So what does our Vision 2030 mean in numbers? And it's always hard to discuss numbers because we, as I said in the beginning, we have to measure the numbers and then we have to sometimes reset and see what is feasible and what is possible. Because we as Kuehne+Nagel, we are a low asset company. That means that we don't invest into our own transportation. We utilize carriers, we utilize air freight companies, we utilize road companies. So we have to work together according with governments in order to push one agenda forward. So our CO2 reduction goals are based that until 2030, we want to have an absolute reduction of 33% in the total emissions, which involve the scopes 1, 2, and 3. And that's against the baseline of 2019. So basically just 11 years to reach those goals. Then we will have zero waste landfill until 2023, and we are reducing the clean water consumption by 2030 as well. And as a logistics forwarder, we are using the 3 main drivers: air logistics, road logistics, and of course, as we discussed, sea logistics. Air is fantastic if you need to get things moving quickly. Road is extremely vital for the final mile delivery to the customers, and sea logistics, of course, for the mass transportation over long distances. In air logistics, for instance, we were the first transatlantic shipment company that had transported 100% of SAF-powered flight, the sustainable aviation fuel. For road logistics, we are launching the carbon insetting for the hydrotreated vegetable oil in the electric trucks. And sea logistics, we are using biofuels, which, as this next slide can show us, is a bridging solution. Because one thing is clear, science is always fluid and changing, and we need to see what engineering can develop moving forward. But right now, the drop in biofuels, what we are adding in sea freight and in air freight and in road, are the ones that are giving us a very fast return on decreasing and avoiding CO2 emissions. The future will look maybe synthetic fuels, we don't know yet, but we have to keep close to the market to change an ever-changing environment to be able to adapt to the new structures. So just to give you a quick overview what we do in road, for instance, we have zero emission vehicles, we have electric trucks, we have solar panels on trucks, This is all part of the offsetting. Then we have our warehouses globally, which we are all adapting to with solar panels. The purpose is, of course, to reduce the environmental impact, to create energy production that we can go back into the net of the energy companies. We are avoiding water efficiencies, and we are going with low carbon transports between the warehouses, all in an electrical manner to improve the CO2 emissions. One interesting aspect that Riccardo mentioned is the train, the rail from Asia to Europe, which is currently not always usable because of certain political restrictions. But what we are also using since quite a long time, and I gave you an overview here, is the air-to-sea-air conversion. So what it shows, not only on the left axis is the cost per kg, but also the transit time on the y-axis below. And we see that even though air freight is the fastest transport vehicle, shipped the slowest, if we do a combination of sea air, and usually we go from Asia to Dubai, and then we load it onto planes to come to Europe, to Paris, to Frankfurt, and so forth, we still save about 100 tons while using only air freight. This is, of course, anybody who is in the high-tech business, important when you have certain sales, certain emergencies where you need to move your products in a faster manner. So the only way we can achieve this, of course, is through partnership and together. And this is why I think we're proud, and it works, that Acer is one of the first companies we started this journey with, because you need a lot of collaboration along the supply chain, especially when you are a non-asset and low-asset company. We need robust and recognized accounting processes for the book and claim, and we need emission transparency for the low-carbon transition, but does not replace any need for real actions moving forward and to continuously improve ourselves. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I hand over back to Nevin, please.
Thank you very much, Holger. Now I would like to invite three of you to join the panel, and then I have several questions, and the participant online or attend the event physically here at COP28 and can also raise your question or comment after the first part of the panel discussion. And then I would like to thank Holger's very impressive presentation. I think in the last 15 years, the global logistic company, ocean freight, and then a lot of innovation and creativity has been already moving on. And then along the value chain of the global logistics, I think you also have already done a pretty good part. And then you, a supplier of Kuehne+Nagel, also need to do their part. So the whole value chain, based on the very close collaboration, I think we can make things happen to make the global logistics much more cost-effective, much more efficient, less carbon emission. And I believe that in the near future, maybe more and more, a lot of the circular innovation will be also the case. So I think we are moving forward that direction. Of course, a lot of challenges is still there too. So I would like to ask the first question to Grace. Currently, net zero is the common goal for all of the big companies, small and medium size, can leave no one behind. But currently, could you please share with us, how does Acer drive low carbon partnership in the supply chain? What have you done? What do you plan to do? And then can you give us some more insight about that?
Okay.
Is it okay? Thank you, Niven. Yeah, I know it's a very important questions that a lot of people want to know how to collaborate with suppliers and how to reduce Scope 3 carbon emissions. And in the company internally, actually, Acer regard the suppliers actually as our employees. So we do the same thing that internally and externally. So for supply management, we also do a top-down and also bottom-up management mechanism. So for top-down, we set very comprehensive management scheme, including governance, environmental, and social. And for governance, we focus on the suppliers, how to they also manage their suppliers, and how to transparency disclose their sustainability data and informations. And for social part, we focus on how to treat their suppliers very well and their workers very well. And we follow global norms and standards like RBA, RMI. And importantly, for climate, we focus on the energy and the climate management. As I just said, we adopt the global norms like CDP and CDP supply chain and TCFD, SBT. So we have very comprehensive, clear requirement to our suppliers. But for bottom-up, because we believe the internal like initiative from the mind, from the bottom will make a lot of change. So that's why we launch the Earthium. And I also want to mention that for top-down management, I think except very clear requirement, I think we still need some measures about like what level that supply has done. We launched like scorecard mechanism. We have launched over 10 years, including what I just said, the ESG part. So we score them and put the score into our QBR quarterly review meetings. That's the one part of our how Acer decide who we want to cooperate with. So I think for Acer, I think we from top down, from bottom up, that's how we cooperate and manage our suppliers.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I also know that Acer has already conducted a lot of engagement activity with the supplier. I think is all kind of a supplier. I think for logistic issues, because it also involves a very different kind of vehicle, aviation and carrier, and also some of the vehicle. So sometimes it's a very different, quite strongly dependent on the local infrastructure and also the company. So I would like to ask one question, Riccardo, maybe later, Holger. Based on the past several years' experience, could you please just highlight us when we want to achieve a low carbon transportation in our product logistics, what is the most significant difficulty and barriers up to now you think that has been already very, very obvious or the most material? And then based on those kind of challenges or difficulty identified by you or prioritized by you, do you have any some corresponding solution how to work it out? So can I have Riccardo to share first?
Yes, sure, Niven, and thanks for the question. I think it's a big topic. If we mention the challenges that we saw and that we overcome in the past years to implement this. The first one I want to mention is to measure really in a reliable and recognized manner the CO2 emission generated by transportation. And I think this is also some data and big data that you need to start collecting as a company and studying and using them also to predictive CO2 emission from future and expected shipments. So this is a big challenge because it's something new. It was not in the design phase many years ago, and the challenge is really to put it into place where it was not designed originally. So the transformation and the fact that we have new parameters to make decision is the biggest challenge because it requires an adjustment on what we have already in place. As well in the mindset. So we need to start including sustainability more in our decision making. And it's not only lead time, cost, and flow optimization. This is, of course, started years ago, I have to say, but the way we are keep on studying and evolving in this one, is remarkable because now there is much more literature, there is more knowledge, there are more services for companies that are already on the business for many years to support them into the transition. I think also there are some choice that the company have to make, how to measure, which measure to use, and how to communicate this measure. Well to will is one way of that we chose to present our CO2 emission, but there are many other different, and it's all about what do you want to say and how much transparent you want to be. I think we need to be very careful. We don't have to rush to make the wrong steps. And I think the steps we are doing are the right one. Of course, as a company, we need also to have expertise and knowledge of what we are doing. And for this one, thanks to Grace and thanks to the partner we are choosing, we have the best coverage of the most advanced solution. So this, in a way, was the solution we took in the past to also overcome the difficulties and the challenges in implementing sustainability. And I think long partnership, strategic partnership with the institution, with the suppliers, like the one we have since many years with Kuehne+Nagel, are also key to help us in getting to the solution. And I'm not sure, Holger, if you want to add more this way.
Perfectly said. I mean, aside maybe from the mindset that you mentioned that a company needs and that we all, as part of the environment, need, not to view sustainability as a strategy, but as a mindset, as a culture. Because obviously we need to engage in it every day, and we all have to do our part. And it's not so much a cost, but it's more an investment. And just from the technical sides, I think we all want to demand more, and we could all be a lot further. But we must also not forget that there's a lot of high, long-standing investments, like by the carriers, the ocean carriers. We can't just switch out the engines and then use biofuel from one day to the other. We have to use it as drop-ins. These things need to have the return on invest. They need to drive a certain amount of miles on the sea in order to gain the capital that was invested to them. And that is a fair point, because otherwise people would not be so kind and invest in the sustainability aspect. So we need to have a little bit of patience. I know the youth in our generation, they're always demanding the impossible, but we as the adults in the room, we also have to channel that ambition and communicate and over-communicate on how we can achieve our common goals.
Yeah, thank you both of you. I think what Kuehne+Nagel get done about more than 15 years ago in the global logistic value chain. It's very difficult to get the detail and precise carbon emission data for decision making. And right now, thanks for the past 15 years of reporting global development, more and more, much more accurate, trustful data can be leveraged by our further utilization for decision how we can better design the best logistics arrangement. And then as the brand name company like Acer or Kuehne+Nagel, we don't ask and then no data. We ask and the data will come out, and then we keep asking and the data will be improved. And then the decision making will be much more highly trustful based on those incredible data. So I think, thank you for your comment for that. And then I do have another question is regarding to the marine transportation, comparing to the aviation. Now the global has already have a very clear roadmap for using the sustainable aviation fuel. And then how about the sustainable marine fuel for the marine and ocean freight? So can I have a Holger to give up to some of the insight about the latest development on this issue?
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason when you look in our logo that there is an anchor. So we were founded on the ocean freight business. And as Riccardo mentioned earlier, it is the most important mode of transportation because it's just a mass transportation vehicle and it gives you the best return on invest. I think we all recognize, and as I mentioned in my presentation, 1/3 of the companies are developing the market capitalization already with the sustainability aspect. We need to understand where the journey takes us. So marine fuel, the newest ones we have, depending on the live feedstock, we can reduce maybe 90, 91, 92% of emissions. But we can't stop there. We need to understand where the whole economic investments are going to go so we don't lose track and that we take everybody along on this journey and show them how necessary it is to invest. And I think marine biofuel gives us the best possibility at the moment because it's a drop in fuel. It's not going to be the end. It's just a bridge solution. And at some point in time, our colleagues from the engineering departments, they will come up with better and further advanced technologies. As I mentioned, maybe some synthetic fuels, just like the automotive industry is looking into. So I think the journey is very long. It's very complicated. It's very dense. But setting your goals and setting your visions to be part of that journey in sustainability keeps you clearly focused and very straight aligned to the trends to come.
Thank you very much. How about you, Riccardo?
Oh, I think as well, it also has to be considered that the maritime industry is already following a very strict discipline by itself already. It's not just driven by single customers, but there's a full, let's say, set of rules and of targets for these years and also for the future, where each carrier and the global fleet of container vessels will have to improve against the emission that they are making. So on top of being already efficient, it will keep on improving by itself. And I think with the communication and with the fact that we will also raise more awareness, the biofuel and the other technologies that will come in the future will really become more demanded by customers. And customers of the carrier are Kuehne+Nagel or ourselves. What is the next step to be done is, of course, make also final end user of the product that are shipped by those vessels aware how the goods are moved, how the goods are shipped, which mode of transportation, and which sort of emission they are generating. So this is, I think, is also something that will be required to increase this awareness, to really follow the demand of a sustainable world with the awareness of what we do in our single day and the purchasing behavior also affect this sustainable world we are demanding.
Thank you very much. I think we still have some time, so I would like to come back to Grace to ask one question, and then also come back to both of you regarding to COP28. Actually, today's event, the pavilion is located in one of the building within the blue zone of COP28. And then Acer also spent a lot of effort for being here, not just only participate at COP28, but also have some business development activity in Dubai. So I would like to come back to Grace. Could you please share with us what is Acer's activity during the period of COP28?
Thanks, Stephen. This year, actually, our focus is learning and sharing. So, accept me to share Acer's climate strategy and goals and how we collaborate with our suppliers. Our COO, Chief Operational Officer, he will discuss with about future computer, how future computer will contribute for the sustainability with Intel and Microsoft, actually in the same time with us. And I think a lot of people eager to know how AI can contribute to resolve climate problems, and how computers can how to reduce more energies, or how to reduce carbon emissions, and how to adopt more sustainable materials. On top of that, actually, we will host a global press conference on December 6th in Dubai as well. So we have a theme, conscious technology. We will share and build our sustainable vision about how to reduce carbon emissions, how to provide more renewable energy applications, and of course the technology innovations. So I'm quite exciting that I'm also invite all of you online. You can join us through live stream, and please check or search Acer Conscious Technology, and you will find the access. And welcome and join us through online stream. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think a lot of information will be available on Acer's website. Then I would like to have one question for Rebecca, Riccardo and Holger regarding to the COP28. I think in the logistics and transportation sector, we know that the climate change, a lot of unexpected weather event or getting worse signal will be covered by the leading media in Europe. I think you may already review it. So based on the current the global warming and climate change, the whole situation seems to still getting worse, not getting better. So do you think that the COP28, what kind of impact to your sector or to Riccardo's your core main business focus on the supply chain, especially related to logistics? Do you think that some other further significant impact to the area in transportation, product logistics will be strongly or influentially impacted by this kind of a global climate negotiation? So what is your comment for that?
It's not an easy answer, even, but of course I will try to give you my view. And I think yes, of course, the contribute that anyone can do in any country in reducing or controlling the CO2 emission will help to smooth a little bit the atmospheric events that are currently impacting and sometimes making our life difficult on planning shipments. So at the moment there is quite a little bit more buffer in the world supply chains because of the risk management we need to consider when we plan shipments because of unexpected event. It's true as well that this is not only related to climate changes, so this is also related to political situation. But as of climate changes and COP28 related, we see that these could bring to a more, let's say, aware and let's say sustainable logistics as well, meaning most probably higher costs in the logistics. So this is, of course, one aspect that we need to consider, and it's as long as reasonable, we all as a community have to participate and sustain. And again, this is also the contribute that we all have to be able to do in the supply chain. So the more predictable shipments, the more we are, let's say, trusting the current solution we have in place, the better we can make in the logistics. Even with a higher cost in the transportation, we can still sustain consumer demand if they are aware of their choice of the products. So this is, in my view, it's all connected, all strictly connected, and our hope is that there will be also global, sooner or later, harmonization of this carbon emission effort, because everybody has to contribute to the atmosphere. So this should also be, let's say, not creating more gaps, but indeed balancing the sustainability effort of every country and every region.
Yeah, thank you very much. How about you, Holger?
Well, I think there's not much to add other maybe than the fact we are a delivery partner for the COP28. So it just shows our commitment as Kuehne+Nagel, and we understand how valuable and how important we are as part of the supply chain. But let's not forget that only about 8% of the emissions are being driven by the forwarders in the supply chain. So we are not the biggest one, but we are most likely one of the most visible ones. So we are aware that we need to drive change. But we have to do it with a common understanding. We have to set the frameworks right, that because of the investments that, we can't ask the common consumer or getting them done by taxes. They have to be driven by companies like Acer or by Kuehne+Nagel. And we have to be very careful how and where we invest our resources. So we need to understand the common framework, that none of our efforts are somewhere dwindling out into the atmosphere. We want to see a return on invest, on ideas, and on value. My father always used to say, because now I'm 50 years old, so this is not the first crisis, and now it's the climate crisis. I've had to deal as a young man with a lot of crises on this planet. But my father always said, we will find our way out of it. And we need to make sure, in order to do that, that we do not restrict the energy flow to the people, because that is what's going to drive innovation, and then, not being counterintuitive, help us find our way out of the current situation with the climate.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think every generation, I think, regarding to the so complicated, interactive, pressing global risk, the one generation to the another generation, we gotta also try to find a way out by every one of us, because we are all part of the problem. We must be all part of the solution together. And then at the last, I would like to invite three of you to give you a final wrap up based on the sustainable transportation, the product logistics, the key topic we are addressing today. What will be your final call to the participants or the business community or the global supply chain to focus on more in the near future? So you can give us several key points from your advice, so then we can close today's section. So I would like to invite Grace. Could you please go first?
Yeah, we believe cooperation leads to success. So, but I know it's a normal sentence that everybody knows. But anyhow, we need like just a Holger or Riccardo or even said we need to be part of it. So. As a brand company, I think as Acer, we lead the suppliers to go together. So we just not only top down, but also bottom up. So no matter which role you are, just be action. I think that's what I want to bring to all of you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Holger?
Collaboration, communication, partnerships, and the bottom-up approach, Grace, I like that, because we need to communicate. We are the adults in the room. We need to communicate that the solutions are possible. The problems are man-made, so they can be resolved and solved by men, as John F. Kennedy once famously said. So I think we as the adults need to drive the change. We need to show a hopeful message that there is no termination list on this planet. The planet will be fine. It just needs us to drive the change.
Thank you very much. Riccardo, please.
And yeah, of course, I cannot disagree with Holger and Grace. And my view is we as leaders in leaders company have really a big important role into this, and our personal and professional ambition is to really move forward in the sustainability of our own industry. And also another message, if you allow me, and even is also to everyone as a consumer, in our consumer and buying behavior. We really need to be more keen into looking into the details and the data of the product we are buying. A sustainable product usually comes from a sustainable company that is looking forward for a sustainable transportation and is surrounded by sustainable partners. This is the case for Acer and Kuehne+Nagel, and this for me is also really a key element for the society around us, and when we from professional becomes also normal individual and behave, let's say, in a normal day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just what you all has already emphasized. I think sustainable future is what we want, and then action is what we want. But how to drive the action, practical action, ambitious, bold, and aggressive action. I think we need to have a more engagement, try to motivate somebody else. And Acer and Kuehne+Nagel, you already have a lot of leading innovation and leadership. You do have a product, you do have an innovation model, and then we're gonna leverage that what have been already existing and try to influence somebody else. And then now we are going to need to do everything possible to deliver Sustainable Development Goal achievement, but with impact, really, really important impact. I think there is one very important saying that we gotta define our future, not the future define us. So I believe a leading company should play a much more important role for waking everybody up, and then to build up much more closer collaboration for more sustainable solution. So thank you so much for today's very insightful input. And then we are going to end today's section. Thank you very much for the participants online. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.